Hey, Tyler from Less Annoying Business here. In this video, I'm going to show you the final key step of getting a new business website hosted. So if you're following along in my course on how to start a business website from scratch, you've already gotten a website set up and you've bought a domain name, and now it's time to connect the two together. If you don't know about that course, I'll put a link in the description. Okay. So for this example, I'm going to use Hover as the place where I bought the domain name, and I'm going to use Card as the place hosting my website. But these same steps will apply with any domain registrar and with any website host. The user interface might be slightly different, but the basic principle still applies. So hopefully you can use this no matter what. So for example, even if you've already bought a domain name from someone other than Hover, basically the same principle is going to apply. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my website host, and in Card, you click this little save icon. If you're using something else like Squarespace or Wix, it's normally going to be called like publish this site or something along those lines. And that's going to give you the information on, okay, how do you get this site live? Okay. In Card's case, by default, it gives you kind of this temporary URL. I want to say publish to a custom domain. Okay. And then what it's going to do, I already entered this earlier. So what it's going to do is ask you, what is the domain name? And if you remember from last video I recorded, the domain name I made is www.businesshostingcourse.com. And it's going to check and everything's going to check out. Okay, so Card thinks this can work. Now, how do I actually connect the domain name to Card? How do I make it so when someone types this into their address bar, they actually get to my website? This is going to involve DNS. I'm going to post a link in the description of this video that explains what DNS is. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details here. I'm just going to tell you exactly what you need to know to get this working. Okay, so it's going to tell you what changes you need to make. There's an A, and a C name. That's going to happen in your domain registrar. So I'm going to come over to Hover, where in the last video I bought a domain name. I'm going to go to my control panel. Okay, so the website I bought last time is businesshostingcourse.com. Let's make sure that matches up. Businesshostingcourse.com. I put the www there because I want to use that. Okay, so here I'm going to go to DNS. If you're using GoDaddy or Namecheap or some other domain registrar, the interface will be different, but there will be some place where you can change the DNS settings this exact same way. And the way DNS settings work is there's basically 3 values you need to enter for each one, okay? A type, a host, and a value. You can see that Card is telling me the type is A, the host is an @ and the target is this IP address. So what I'm going to do, first of all, is I'm going to delete any conflicting DNS records. So this is an A and an @. We have an A and an @ here. Basically, I don't want any of this. This is stuff that Hover set up for me by default, but it's not pointing at the right stuff. So I'm going to honestly just kind of delete all of these things because I don't need them. And we're going to reset them up. So, okay, I'm going to just copy these over one by one. So I'm going to add a record. What's the type? It's A. Here, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller so I can see them both. It's an A. The host name is an @. An @ just means if you don't have any subdomain. So rather than www.businesshosting.com, the @ just means businesshosting.com. So again, this is complicated and you don't need to fully understand this, but okay, I've got an A, @ IP address, add record. Okay, that's the first one. Let's add another A, another @ and another IP address. Add record. Great. And one more. This time it's not an A, it's a C name. And then the host is www. And then the target name is businesshosting.com. They always put a period at the end here. I don't know why. It's something about DNS. I don't fully understand it. But, again, just copy exactly what they tell you to put in there. Go ahead and do it, and that'll take care of it. Okay, well, that's basically it. I think it's probably not going to be working just yet. If I go to www.businesshostingcourse.com. Actually, let me publish these changes down here in Card first. So I've got that published. Okay. If I go to businesshostingcourse.com, it's actually not quite set up. It's going to take a second to, get the hang of things, but give it 10, 15 minutes. Technically it can take up to 48 hours, but it never does. But that's all there is to it. The website should work. All right. Well, let me know if you have any questions.